Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Ahead tonight, an update on the condition of a Big Fork student whose lung was punctured by a javelin at track practice. Plus, a couple arrested for engaging in a sex act at a Montana hot springs resort. We'll have the details ahead. But we begin tonight in Helena, where the Medicaid Expansion bill was revived and endorsed today at the state capitol. After 4 days of stalemate, the Montana Senate finally advanced one of the biggest bills of the legislature, Medicaid Expansion. The program would provide health coverage to 96,000 low-income Montanans. MTN's Mike Dennison was on the Senate floor during the debate.
The day on the Senate floor opened with a dramatic 26-24 vote, breaking a 4-day deadlock and placing the Medicaid expansion bill on the debate calendar later in the day. That vote was crucial, enabling the bill to meet a transmittal deadline that otherwise might have killed it. More than 4 hours later, the same 26-vote majority held for debate stage approval, advancing House Bill 658 to a final Senate vote on Tuesday. Opponents, however, didn't go down without a fight, arguing the legislature is going against the will of Montana voters, who last November defeated a ballot measure that proposed extending the program and funding it with higher tobacco taxes.
I think they voted because it was a tax, because it's socialized medicine, because it incentivizes people to not work and to be in the poverty level so that they can get a benefit for remaining under the poverty line. The voters of Montana said no, and here we are, some of us thinking we know better.
Democratic Senate Leader John Sesso argued that voters said no to higher taxes, but not to Medicaid expansion.
We have done what the people asked us to do and is not raise their taxes to pay for this program. This is the product that we put together, and I would ask for a due pass today because people are counting on us. 90%
of the $700 million a year program is funded by the federal government. A new tax paid by Montana hospitals also will pick up most of the state's share of the costs. Senator Dan Solomon of Ronan, one of 6 Republicans to support the measure on Monday, said Montana accepts federal money to help pay for many programs, and that HB 658 was an easy vote for him because of its economic benefits and aid to rural hospitals.
What's the first thing people look for when they look for a place to live? They look for housing, etc. Then they look, where is it in relationship to schools and hospitals? So we lose our smaller hospitals. That's going to make a big difference in how we look at things and how people look when they're looking for a place to live and a job.
If the Senate approves Medicaid expansion on Tuesday, it goes back to the House for a final vote, and then it could go to Governor Bullock for his signature. Whether that path depends on the fate of other bills remains to be seen. At the Capitol, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Mike. Some Republican lawmakers, the Medicaid bill is a bargaining chip for another bill, Colstrip. Today, lawmakers endorsed a bill to extend the life of Colstrip's power plants after it was amended. Now the Montana Public Service Commission will have a greater say in approving costs. The bill allowed Northwestern Energy to charge customers $75 million for new expenditures. Opponents fear the change could still be reversed. The bill must pass a final vote in the House tomorrow. New details tonight surrounding an East Glacier teacher charged with sexual abuse of a minor. Sierra Shawnee Taylor is facing federal charges. Court documents say she engaged in a sex act with a young male between the ages of 12 and 16. Taylor worked for the district until 2015, but then resigned. She was released from federal custody just last week. Her trial is set for June 10th. Tonight, Bozeman police are looking for a man accused of exposing himself to a young girl. Police say a 12-year-old girl was just a few blocks away from Emily Dickinson Elementary when a man drove up in a gray pickup, inappropriately exposed himself. While officers investigate tonight, there's a call to action for parents.
It's always a good reminder of the stranger danger. Have those conversations with your kids. And it can't just be the school that's having the conversation with the kids. Parents need to take a role in this as well.
All right, and we do have a description of this man to tell you about. Again, he was driving a gray Dodge pickup with white trim. He's described as having a mustache, so anyone with information should call Bozeman police. 2 Gallatin County residents behind bars tonight after they were allegedly caught having sex in a local hot springs. 33-year-old Don Klein and 37-year-old Aaron Miller are each charged with indecent exposure. The incident happened Friday night at the Bozeman Hot Springs with children nearby. Deputies say surveillance footage caught the couple in the act. They were both later pulled over and arrested. Klein's bail was set at $5,000 and she is banned from the hot springs. New information surrounding a Big Fork athlete who's recovering after being struck in the chest with a javelin. Anders Epperle's mom posted this photo on her social media, and it said it punctured the lung last Thursday during track practice. This is what her caption read. The lung puncture is closed, the lung supporting itself, tube out, bandage up, busting out soon, is what she says. Epperle was flown to a Kalispell hospital. He was standing outside the throwing zone. That's when a gust of wind caused that javelin to go off course. Fortunately, though, it missed any of those major arteries. Heartbreak tonight in Europe after flames broke out at the famed Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. All of this during the holiest week for the church. The 856-year-old structure was undergoing a massive renovation, and emergency crews tried to salvage priceless artwork. Authorities have not determined yet the cause of that fire. Well, tonight, Missoula High School students are especially heartbroken after visiting Paris. Just a few weeks ago, 20 Loyola High School students were there on their spring break trip. They say the experience was beautiful and inspiring, of course, as they reflect back through the trip on photos from their phones. They realize how lucky it was to see the cathedral before its destruction today.
In a word, tragic. It's heartbreaking to see that. I mean, you can watch the video of the spire coming down and it hurts you right here because it is such a big Catholic symbol. I'd like to think that, you know, I was there at the time that I was there for a reason, that I got to see it, the original Notre Dame church, before it did get destroyed.
I was really confused. I was like, something like this couldn't happen because it is Holy Week and it's a very important piece of art. It's not just a cathedral, it's art and it's architecture and it's just a historical building that lots of people care about.
Some pretty special memories right there for those students. They do believe, though, that people, regardless of their faith, will come together and rebuild the cathedral. Major reform could be heading in the way of medical marijuana recipients. That's, of course, in our state. This as lawmakers continue to tackle regulatory framework for patients. MTN's Jonathan Anbarian joins us now from Helena.
The Montana House gave preliminary approval Monday to a set of big changes to the state's medical marijuana system. House members voted 68 to 32 in favor of Senate Bill 265, sponsored by Senator Tom Jacobson of Great Falls. The biggest change in the bill is untethering patients from providers, meaning patients would no longer have to choose a single provider to purchase their marijuana from. The bill originally raised a tax on medical marijuana providers from 2% to 4%, but it has been amended to make that increase temporary. Supporters say the bill will give regulators the tools to better manage marijuana in the state.
Ultimately, we see medical marijuana as medicine, and so the state has an obligation to provide a regulatory framework that provides certainty for cancer patients and other types of patients so that they know that their medicine is safe and effective. And they know where it came from.
The bill has to pass one final vote here in the House on Tuesday in order to keep moving forward. At the Capitol, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
New details tonight regarding renovations to a Big Fork bridge that currently cannot hold the weight of fire trucks. The historic Swan River Bridge in Big Fork is set for an update. The bridge was built in 1912, but in 2014 there were concerns over the stability of the structure. So the Montana Department of Transportation is currently designing a new bridge. The mission is to allow for more weight on the bridge, as well as access from emergency vehicles through town to Big Fork. Questions remain tonight regarding a Polson teen that went missing. Tonight, the girl is home, but there's little information about what led to her disappearance. 15-year-old Whisper Little Owl Horseman went missing last Wednesday. Flathead Tribal Police asked for the public's help for any tips in the case. But then today, mother of Little Owl Horseman reported on Facebook that she was home safe. This on top of another Polson teen who went missing last week also located. 14-year-old Emma Eastman, she was located on Friday. The Bozeman School Superintendent is named as a finalist for the head position at the Missoula County Public Schools. Robert Watson already served in the Missoula County Public Schools starting in 2001, and then he served at the Bozeman High School as principal until 2012. He was then promoted to superintendent. Missoula County trustees have public interviews scheduled with the 3 candidates on Thursday. The current Missoula County Superintendent, Mark Thane, he's retiring this year. Quick reaction at the professional bull riding event in Billings when a bull broke loose from the gates for a split second. An MTN camera was rolling right outside of the Metro Park Arena when all of a sudden life got pretty interested. Stay tuned here, keep watching. Well, the chutes opened and the bull bolted. Then a straight up stare down from that bull, as you can see. Fortunately, PBR staff and handlers reacted quickly. They were able to get that bull right back in its chute. A pretty exciting 8 seconds there. Well, still to come on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news. The Atlantic Richfield Company in Butte is proposing building an artificial creek to flow through the mining city, but there is some opposition. We'll tell you about that. And right after the break, it was a beautiful day across Montana. MTN's Rob Griggs, he's filling in for Bob McGuire tonight. He tells us if the sunshine's gonna stay.